This may be the happiest song I've ever encountered. YouTube closed itself again. Yay, phone, come on. It's gonna make me watch another ad, I think. T-minus 10. Yes. What's happening, y'all? Well, howdy, folks. Let's test for latency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only about 5 seconds out. Well, howdy, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Country Fried Minis. I am your host, Cameron, the country boy in the big city, presenting one more from the Bullshit Corner 2.0. Today we're diving in on a project, on a commission I have over on fiverr.com/Thurston Studios. If you want your own commission, make sure to check out over there and take a peek at what's on offer. I'm more than willing to work with budgetary constraints and do what I can to bring your model dreams to life. And I guess we're starting with some push-ups.
Bye, everyone.
And I'll get right on it. Yes. All right, bear with me 1 second, folks. Today. And you guys can enjoy the glory that is my eBay table in the meantime. It is a cluttered disaster. But yeah, today we're going to be diving in on a project. Those of you who caught yesterday's stream saw a bunch of supports being generated for some models for this project. We have all those prints right here. So today on the agenda, we're going to clean these up. We're going to clean up some catalyst mold lines, and then we're going to dive in to do some basing texture. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do like some pre-priming before we get rolling on the paint jobs, so you guys don't have to sit through another priming stream. I might prime on stream again just for oh, what's the term? There's a word, brain. Please give it to me. There's a word about recording it. Brain, English, please. For you do a thing for so that it's, you know, on record. Jesus. Oh, come on. You're telling me unskippable ads? Ooh, gross. Gross, YouTube. Continuity? No, it's similar to continuity. It's similar to continuity. It's not continuity. Posterity. To film it, to do it for posterity. That's what it is. Jeez, my brain, no brain, no, mi cerebro no functiona. Anyhow, we're gonna dig in today. We're gonna clean up some stuff, get these models ready and get them on bases. We're gonna mix up a basing texture mix, and I'll go over that once more. I know I've done it in videos before, but it is much better to catch it in a live format rather than with a little bit of movie magic changing, you know, the temporal nature of videos versus live streams, you know. Provenance rest. Nope, it is definitely not pomegranates. And you know, pomegranates are an interesting topic because I kind of I love pomegranate juice. I think it's very tasty. I think eating pomegranates is fucking awful. Just sucking a little bit of flesh off of a mouthful of fucking crunchy seeds that taste bitter. Awful. Awful experience. I don't see how anyone enjoys eating a pomegranate. Let's see, are we already on another set of push-ups? What the hell's going on here? This whole thing is pulling strangely. What am I even doing? Okay, we're gonna get stuck in. We're gonna clean up some prints. We're gonna film up some of this. We're gonna get my models out of the way over here, and we're gonna see if we can't get some work going on. Boy, it is hot in here tonight. My apartment is probably 85 degrees right now. I used to eat a pomegranate for lunch occasionally when I worked at Walmart. I mean, you say eat a pomegranate, but more accurately, you dug into a really thick rind and pulled a bunch of seeds out and sucked a little bit of flesh off of them and then threw the seeds away, right? Spat them out. What I'm getting at is a pomegranate is mostly seeds. Ate the seeds. Yuck. Yes. The best part of this pomegranate, the nice bitter seeds. Okay, anyhow, let's start in on cleaning up these models. I think I maybe have filmed a little bit of cleaning 3D prints, so I think we can skip over that this time. We don't need to film it. We're just going to get stuck in on working on them. So first things first, we're going to just go through these models, and I think what we'll do is create a little pile of minis that we've already cleaned up. We're going to start in with these half tracks. They printed really, really well. So I'm quite pleased with that. And as you can see, they're going to sit on the bases nicely with enough room for a few guys in the back and then an infantryman on either side. So that will be really nice. Let's see. That is going. All right, so let's get everything shifted over, and we're just going to move all these parts one by one and go into cleaning. I think for the most part our infantrymen have just broken off the supports cleanly, and we can just shift them to the side. We'll give them a quick inspection and see if there's any supports that need to be removed. But it honestly looks like they all broke off really cleanly.
And a double helping of
double
gravy.
helping of gravy. Pomegravy. All right, we'll also try to organize these a little bit because we've got our missile boys. We've got our jump pack boys. And then we've got our seated fellers. No. Cat brush. Wouldn't have had the time to carefully juice each tiny nodule in a 30-minute lunch break. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying they're just, it's better as juice. It's better as juice. which it kind of makes sense. I imagine you just take a whole bunch of pomegranates and then like do the pre-cleaning stuff and get all the little pulpy bits out and start put them in a big set and juice them out and then suck them down. I do enjoy eating certain foods for the juice. I used to juice the hell out of carrots, actually. If y'all ain't had just pure carrot juice, that shit is good. You see that brush there? This brush? This brush? I was trying to show it to this camera, but I forgot I have this camera right here. Yeah, I've been using this brush. I've done it. I've done it. All right, we have a few little support nips here. So we're gonna clean those off. You know what? Maybe I can zoom this in so y'all can half-ass see what's going on here. Let's go Brio. Let's bring it in like, how about that? You still can't really see what's going on because they're so small, unfortunately. Looks like a cat brush to me. Ah, yes, it does look like a cat brush. Dude, I bet a cat would love a brass brush. Give it some scritches in the yummy spot right above the tail. Now I'm using a very sharp almost brand new X-Acto blade here, so these little support tips are cutting away nice and cleanly. I'm going to try to not leave any of them on there. I think it's somewhat understandable if there are a few on there, but for the most part we want to try to just get rid of all of them. This is a professional project after all. Something is really making my ear itch. Tiny plastic cats. Ah, yes. You know, it's funny, Mr. Nate. I was looking for some cats to paint in my collection, and if you can believe it, I bought all the dogs from the Dungeons and Doggos set, but I don't have any of the cats. Is that gonna go through? Oh, it's too many W's, Slink. It's 2 W's, I believe. Also, anyone in chat able to guess what color that is on my thumb there from earlier? I was working on some models while hanging out in voice chat over in the Country Fried Minis Discord. Link in the description down below. I don't know if I was talking about it or not, what I was working on. I might have been. Very specific color on my thumb there. All right. Red? It's not red. It's not red. Is it bad that I read red in Nathan's voice? I think Mr. Nathan, on some level, continually lives rent-free in the creative sector of my brain. All right, that is all our jumpy boys, I think. Looks like it. These are jumpy boys. These are seated boys. So let's take a peek here. We've got another missile lad. What was that? Something just fell down. It's unimportant. Citrus Dookie. Citrus Dookie. That would be a good color. It's, nope. That is not. It is not, in fact, Citrus Dookie. This guy has a very small little support here. that probably wouldn't show up in the final product. I wonder if this other one has the same support. It sure does. Just gonna get in there and dig them out. You know, I think that going through the processes with y'all on stream is interesting, not in the actual process being truly interesting, but that it helps to illustrate like how many hours actually goes into a project, and I hope that it helps to really set a standard of like why you need to cut corners, why you need to reduce the amount of time you spend on things, and why like pricing is so important on a commission project. I've said time and time again that it's, in my mind at least, it's kind of all about finding that low number. Like, how low are you willing to go hourly for your work in the end? And honestly, like, that bare minimum point, I think, is where you should be pricing your work. At least if you want to sell with any kind of volume. Unfortunately, I think higher pricing is usually locked behind, like, building some notoriety, building some... I don't think fame is the word. Some recognition in the hobby, in the spaces. Centerfold Dooku. Centerfold Dooku. Like, you're talking Count Dooku, like, full arms up, fucking nips out, lightsaber suggestedly posed with its pleasing curve. Yeah, I could see that. What was his name? Christopher Lee? We need some sexy Christopher Lee shots. Alright, most of these infantry look like they're basically devoid of any support scarring, which is awesome. I'm really happy to see that. Jump boys over here. Let's get through the infantry first, and then we'll do the cleanup, because these are just like, give them a once over, they look good, move on, right? I am really happy with how these have printed out. It goes to show that the time spent doing the supports was well worth. Alright. Now this one had a support I think I may have missed on the other one. So let's try to find the other guy who's got the... There's another dude with a suitcase down. Yeah, I missed a support right in between his legs. Let's get rid of those. Gone. Okay. Almost done. Infantry. This is a missile lad. Missile lad can go there. This is a walking boy with a machine gun. He'll go right here. This one is running man with a jump pack. We'll go there. This is seated. And I think that's pretty much all the infantry. That looks like all of them. All right. Let's dig in with the next one. Just gonna tug on these supports where we can. And anywhere they're kind of like attached to fragile parts, we'll come in and use the hobby knife. Just a little bit right there we'll get rid of. It is really tenacious. And we got a whole bunch right beneath this tow missile. So we'll get in and cut those out. It looks like we may have also lost a bit of the tip of this gun. My orientation was probably bad for it. So I think what we're gonna do then is just sand or do a little cut off the front and kind of flatten it down. We can work with that. We got a support coming off the back of this mirror. So we're gonna get in with our sharp blade, just cut it free. That looks good to me. Yep, I don't see any bad flattening. Excellent. It's 2 half tracks. Next is another one of these tow missile ones. And I think we're just going to have the exact same support still clinging on. Yeah. The one at the base of the gun. Pop that free. Slide the blade underneath. Get rid of these. You know, it's really interesting, the tenacity of these supports really shows the quality of this resin. I've been very pleased with it. This is the Anycubic Pro 2.0 ABS-like. And it offers everything that Soraya has. It's a little less flexible, just a little bit. But it is similarly strong and about half the price. So I've been very, very pleased with it. All right, what do we got here? Same deal. Got a little bit of supports clinging on underneath. So we cut those free. Now this is a fragile little part, unfortunately, so we need to be... It's especially important to use a sharp little knife here. Sharp brand new blade. Okay. I think we're looking good there. Let's move on to our VTOLs. And these look like they have mostly broken free cleanly of our supports. Can't tell if these are supports or they're supposed to be landing struts. Let's look at the other one. It's present on both. They look like supports to me. We're going to get in there and cut them off. Do the other one as well. Looks all right. Got a little bit of support hanging on right there. We'll get rid of that. They look okay. I think what I want to do now is really quick take our medium grit flat-sided diamond file and just kind of give these scars underneath a little bit of love. It also just hit me, I did not print out any pegs for these, so we may not base the helicopters tonight. I should toss them on a build plate. Alright. Do the same over here. Look for any last little bits of support material, and then just give them a nice little rub down, just to minimize the appearance of those scars. I don't think they're going to be noticed at all because they're underneath. We got 2 of these, and then they have these big rotors. So while we're at it, let's go ahead and make sure that none of the scars are left on these rotors. I think this may be a job for the file, actually. So let's come in and give them a little rub down. And then we have some scarring right here on the flat. We'll do the same. We'll minimize the appearance. Just some gentle love. I think any of the scratches we have will get removed by remove my primer. All right, that looks pretty good to me. That's 1 out of 6, or 1 out of 4. Malls are looking super sick. Can't wait to see it all together. Yes, I am really stoked to get stuck in this week, Mr. Zach P. We're going to be probably we'll be set up for like actual paint work on the Wednesday stream, and then we'll do some more evening work on Thursday and Friday. Might do a long stream on Friday and really do a marathon session. I really should be recording all this right now. What I might do is take some of the footage from this stream as part of the process, but we're gonna turn this project into a piece of content about like deadlines, maybe talk about deadlines and commissions and like how to approach a deadline if like things have gotten away from you and you're running out of time, how to really tighten up the belt and get in and get things done, and just talk about it earnestly, maybe more so than the process itself. Excited to see how the battle armor and infantry components come out. Going to be really sick on the tabletop. So it's interesting that you mentioned that. So I realized after the 3-hour stream yesterday of setting up supports that I never got to the battle armor, and I spent about an hour before stream today prepping those, and they're running on the printer over there. So we'll be working on those tomorrow at some point. I think we'll do the helicopters and the battle armor basing tomorrow. Don't know if it'll be on stream or before stream, but we'll get to that. Because I still need to do some flight pegs for these, and I think I can print out my flight pegs in clear resin. I'm going to give it a go at least. Alright, so next we have these Karnovs. These Karnovs still have some tenacious supports that we're going to get in and pop off of there. You know, surprisingly, these broke free really clean. For a Bombito model, this is really, really clean. Yeah, those came out great. We got a little scarring right here on the back. It's not too bad though. I think we can just give it a little rub with our diamond file. That maybe should be removed with the hobby knife, actually. Yeah, there we go. Looking pretty good. We got a little bit of scarring here, but all in all, I don't think those are going to be super visible on the end product. This trailing edge back here is a little bad, so I'm actually going to dig into it a bit. Just shave it. Shave about a micron off of it. Same here on the bottom. Shave maybe a layer. Maybe, what is it? It's 10 microns? It's 100 microns? 1,000 microns per millimeter or whatever? Like a 0.01 is 10 microns, I think. I don't know. Do I know what I'm talking about ever? Sometimes. Alright, are we in frame? I hope y'all are getting something out of this, like visually. I know it's little pieces that I'm removing, but it is being recorded for posterity. Or streamed for posterity, I should say. Alright, 2 of those done. That means we can move on to these nacelles, which are pretty heavily scarred. Is that supposed to be a little bump there? No. Cut that free. We got some pretty bad scarring right here. I'm just gonna try to scrape them down. Get them as smooth as possible. A little bit on the back here. I can't tell if that is a scar. I think it is a scar. Let's get in there and shave it flat. There we go. Excellent. It's not on these. It goes on these, don't it? Yeah. Yeah. All right, next. Same scars. We're just going to cut these little nubs. Real flush. As flush as we can get them, you know. 1,000 microns in a millimeter. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. It's coming along pretty swimmingly. I think doing busy work like this is a nice reminder that, like, sometimes just getting in there and doing the thing, you know, it gets it done. I feel like in hobby projects, it's so easy to get caught up in the, like, the dreading. You know, you dread the project because you know it's going to be 100 hours of work. But, like, 100 hours of work, well, that'll go quicker than you'd think. As always, I'm reminded of what Jeff Gogue said about, you know, the secret to mastering your art. The only shortcut is how quickly you put in the time. Like, no matter what you do, you're putting in the time. But if you put in the time, if you take a little bit here and there, and like put in some serious time whenever you have the inspiration and aptitude to do so, it'll happen. It'll get done. Hello there, how are you going? Welcome, GP Models. Tonight is a great night. We're getting stuck in on a project. I've got a deadline for a commission coming up fast, and we're trying a different approach this week. We're getting stuck in, and gonna stream every day till it's done. And we are on day 2 of that. Day 1 was setting up supports on some of our models.
Yeah. But you do work out.
I do work out, don't I?
Okay.
All right, I will finish that thought in just a moment. 10 more coming up. Thank you, Comstar.
Bye, everyone. She can go on forever.
10 more coming right up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I think the getting up and down off the ground part is the worst. The worst of that. Thank you, Comstar. That's only 20 tonight, though. Hair is a little wild tonight. All right. What was I getting at? We did supports yesterday. We're doing cleanup. We're going to get models on bases tonight. Tomorrow, we'll probably dive into some priming and prep. Maybe laying down some airbrushed base coats, something like that. I'm not really sure. I got to print some pegs for our helicopters. And I think these are the same peg hole. They are. So we're going to print 4 of those, get them done tonight, overnight, and then prep those for some basing. It's gonna be great. Gonna be a good old time. Looking forward to having this project out, and we'll record enough of it to get a video out. Something a little different. Something kind of talking about painting for commercial. Commercial interests. Commission work. I'd really like to talk about a bit of the whole, like when you're doing commercial work, there's a certain amount of, there's some considerations to corner cutting that you have to do. Otherwise you end up spending an inordinate amount of time on your projects. But in doing so, you kind of learn where you can cut those corners without hurting the final product. And I think it's really neat. I don't know if any of y'all are interested, but I'd love to do a like a 2-day kind of seminar thing where folks all paint the same model with the same colors, and then talk about like what goes into what corners get cut, the process, where you can use stuff like speed paints and dry brushing and sponge work, or like let the washes do the work for you, and how you can have a really finely done piece that is, you know, good enough for commercial sale. Maybe even include a bit about like prepping your models for sale on eBay and how to photogram them so you can keep it after sale. It could be super neat, like a Bob Ross but with minis. Yeah, I was thinking like it could even be like something simple like a Comstar mech, maybe like getting the same 3D print file or the same Catalyst mini, and talk about prep and doing the base work, and then hitting it with like priming into the speed paint on day 1, and then day 2 would be like I guess you could go through speed paint into like sponge chipping and like freehand work, and then day 2 would be talking about enamels, something like that. GBWano says, I'm working on my build and doing carbon fiber work for customers, and it's not fun doing carbon fiber, but it helps me buy more models, I guess. Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way of looking at it. I guess on my end, I'm a little spoiled because I do so much 3D printing stuff, and it's like, it's really simple. It's basically trivial to end up with more models. But hey, you know, doing custom work for customers, that is somewhere that I empathize and can definitely relate. It's very cool. Very cool. All right, so our bull shark ended up with a little bit, a few spots of problems. Right here, we have a little loss of detail on the back, but I think we can maybe either scratch build it or turn it into battle damage back there. With the pivot away from our battle damage models from the last stream, We could maybe avoid doing battle damage altogether on these models. But I think there's supposed to be wear and tear on our World War II jet fighter style mech, so we could probably get away with a little bit back there. Not really sure. I'll bring it up with the client after the stream. Because tonight we're really focused on getting these on bases, mixing up our basing mix. We'll talk about that. We're going to try to conclude tonight in a similar time window as yesterday. Just do like a 3-hour deal. I'm a little sad that I missed that spot. I should have. So I trusted pre-supports on this, or not pre-supports, but auto-gen supports. And it very obviously needed a little bit extra right there and on this corner here. So, you know, it's a little bit of physician heal thyself there, right? So yesterday's stream was about doing supports, and I failed in that on my last one. Using Locust Lab Mad Cat for the model if going with Battletech might be good. Good model in a popular mech. Yes. That is not a bad idea at all. In fact, I have one right here for a project I'll be working on soon for sale. And it's a good one, I think. I think you're dead on, Slink. It would be good because it's such a multi-part dealio. So we could talk about like posing and pinning and like include the prep work. And it is a super popular model. We could do like maybe a 2-layer speed paint job. Like talk about some. Oh, what's the tan and black wolf? It's the Beta Galaxy. Battle damage works for me on spots that got misprinted. Helps to better fit the theme. Yeah, okay. It's honestly probably one of the best Locust Slabs. Just overall, it's very well done. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is Beta Galaxy. I printed out a set to do Beta Galaxy. I'll be posting it soon to eBay. And it's going to be... where's the last one? Where's that last body? Where are you at, last body? Where's the last one? There it is. It's going to be Mad Cat, Uller, Vulture, Puma, and Daishi. So if any of y'all out there would like to get your hands on some models painted by me, keep an eye out for those. Make sure to send an offer my way. I will accept lowball offers, so like just you know, if you see something by me over on eBay that you're interested in, send a bid my way, and I will approve your discount or send a counter offer. It's a little closer to what I'd like to get. All kinds of stuff all the time. Working on some Arizona iced tea themed mechs right now. Got the Harlock's Warriors up there right now. I've got a giant lot of Proserpina Hussars. That one is 8 mechs and 10 vehicles. So check them out. That is country_fried_minis over on eBay. If you need your hands on some Locust Labs models and don't have a 3D printer, hit me up over there as well. I'll have singles up soon, but they're currently multi-part kits. I think they're like between 25 and like 35 bucks, depending on how many models you get. Might need to keep my eye out for the Arizona iced tea mechs. My partner loves Arizona iced teas. They are really simple to do. Yeah, if you find yourself interested, Zach, make sure to send an offer. I'll probably be doing them regularly. Honestly, they're such a fun theme to paint, and such fun colors to dig out. Hold on, I'll just grab one. They're kind of half done at the moment. Doing like a... They're real simple. They're kind of just base coated right now. I don't have the leaves on them yet, but what we do is just a really nice gradient from this turquoise down into the brown. We get the gold on the weapons, and then there's a tree motif. We'll cover it with a bunch of sakura blossoms, and then hit them with some griming, some chipping. They'll be really good, really fun, striking models on the tabletop. And if any of y'all are interested in that theme, I think it's going to be a staple of the eBay store. So if you missed the opportunity to get some, there will be more. I thought you sold those. Did you make another batch? Yes, I'm working on another batch right now. And of course, if you don't want to buy them and just want to play with them, every piece I sell on eBay gets scanned for photogrammetry and tossed into the module, the Country Fried Mercs module for Tabletop Simulator on the Steam Workshop. So you can always play with those. They are not great for exporting and 3D printing, unfortunately. There is a loss of polygons when importing into Tabletop Sim, so they kind of, without the textures, they look a little bit like a potato, but they are pretty awesome in the module. Look just like the real thing. We'll be doing some content about photogrammetry sometime soon, as soon as I can dedicate the time and energy to it. A little instructional tape for y'all to scan and preserve your models in a digital format. Maybe even use them to play a game with me live on stream. If you want more information, make sure to join up on the Country Fried Minis Discord. Link in the description down below. This model has so many little support scars all over it. This one's maybe worse than cleaning up a Catalyst model, actually. Just coming right along. This is a digital kit bash of the Bull Shark. I think it's the M3, but then it's had the cannon put on from the standard model as well. So many little scars. This is such a nightmare. I should have separated the torso and the legs in hindsight, like I did for the War Dog. I just could not get a clean print on the War Dog. The supports just were not going to do it without providing too much suction. Alright, we may need to give this guy a second pass, and we'll take a peek at the War Dog torso real quick. This one printed nice and clean. A fair amount of scarring back here, but not too bad. much more reasonable than on the bull shark. Yeah, I should have separated it. Hell, in hindsight, I could have probably made a bit of streamed content about doing the cannon swap and like breaking them into pieces. But hey, hindsight's 2020, you know. All right, that looks good. Where's the legs? These are our legs, I think. Yes. Yeah, there's almost no scarring on this at all. A little bit on the butt. And then we're going to file flat the feet. Okay. Let's do one more pass on our bull shark, and then I think we can dive into starting to base our models. And I think in doing so, we'll mix up our basing mixture, which I don't have a cup handy, I don't think. Cheeto Thumb. It's not Cheeto Thumb. It's something else. It's a paint color. Have you been able to guess it? Has anyone been able to guess it? Have you internalized it? If so, share it in chat. Okay. I don't even know if I can get in there to get that scar out. Not really. Got that one. Got a few really bad ones here along the pelvis. Try to clean those out. That looks decent. And you know what? We're gonna do one more thing really quick before we get further into this, and we're gonna give our models a pass, one last pass with the UV lamp. Got our little UV lamp, UV LED array. Gonna hit them with the one last pass of this. Just make sure they're nice and cured up. Howdy folks, how'd the print turn out? All the infantry came out spectacularly. They mostly just popped free of the supports without any necessary removal. We had a little bit needed to be removed still. The half tracks need a little cleanup, and then I didn't realize at the end of the stream yesterday, I still had to do the battle armor, so we ended up doing some more supports for the last, I guess, like hour and a half before the stream or something. He said it wasn't. I don't believe Country Browning, Citrus Dookie, Citadel Cheeto Thumb. Kickstarter regret Amber? Almost. I don't think it's regret, but I did just get my Stalker board game Kickstarter in today, and I just put the box in a corner. I don't even really care. I definitely think I'm done doing Kickstarters. Okay, so from here we need to maybe think about gluing models together, and I think I think my super glue's sitting over there. So if you guys will give me 35, 40 seconds, I'm going to go across the room. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I'm going to grab those things, and I'm going to get the I'm going to get that paint and show you what color is on my thumb today. All right, give me just a second. 30 to 45 seconds ish. I see that redeem exercise coming through. I'll drop and do that real quick. I hope I didn't leave a mic on over there. It looks like it's off. All right, I am back. Paint stream, here we go. It is a bull shark, by the way, yes. It is a it's a kit bash of the original, and I think it's the 3 or the M. That way the user can use either version. I have another one here as well. It's a different variant. I don't remember which one this is. But currently there is a paint challenge on the Country Fried Minis Discord server. We're adding more time to it. We're going to kick it back to the end of next month. But if you want to get in on it, get yourself a bull shark and paint it to look like a shark. However you wish to interpret that. And then towards the end of next month, we're going to toss them up on stream, and we'll do an art critique for everybody's bull sharks during the paint stream or editing stream or something. Okay, so from here, what do we want to do? First off, it was Zealot Yellow, by the way. Army Painter Speed Paint Zealot Yellow is the color. There are hundreds of shark camos. Yes. Yes, and if you need to see inspiration in what you're up against, you got to check out Mr. Comstar Knight's submission. Okay, so what are we doing here? I think what we can start on is maybe we're going to mix up our basing material, our basing mud, and we can do our infantry stands. We can glue together our war dog. There's a... He wants to go about like that, I think. We may have to pin this boy to really get it going. But yeah. Alright, so let's set aside our helis, our helos. Let's set those aside. And let's get started on some infantry basing. And I think what we'll do, oops, these go over there too. Bam, bam, bam. There should be one more peg in this stack somewhere. There it is. All right. I think we're gonna film this part. So let's get out the camera. Worm it between our legs. And start showing. Honestly, I think I just want these on the table and not on the paper towel. So let's Let's get this up and out of the way. And we're gonna get a cup. I think we can use this one. We used this for some pink flock before. And I think the pink flock will be fine. It'll just add a little extra texture. We need baking soda. I just got a new box today. We need our baking soda. We need our PVA glue, which is right here. We need some water. We need some paint. And we need to zoom this camera back out. And we're going to make some custard mix. Let's come back out like that, maybe. So that's a good amount. Hundreds of shark camos. Yes, indeed. You are correct. All right, so let's get our camera out. Let's go to camera. Let's go to Pro Video. Let's get it aimed down at the table. And let's get our mix right. Make sure we have water ready. Make sure we have a pipette ready. Make sure we have a stirring implement ready. And then we need to have some shitty, cheap acrylic paints ready. And then a little bit of black as well. And I think that will do us. We're going to paint it anyways, but it's nice to give it a little color to start with. Okay, so. Also, I have some grit up here somewhere. I don't see it, though. Where the fuck is it? I do not see my basing grit. Well, that sucks. I think we may just have to live without it. Unfortunately. I don't see what I did with it. I think we can work without it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, so we're going to show to the camera a few supplies. I'm going to start with baking soda. I'm going to show the camera our Elmer's Glue All. We're going to show it a few colors of paint. Some cheapo paints with a little black paint as well. And we're going to get out our cup to mix in. All right, so we're going to dig in with a whole bunch of baking soda at first. Just an arbitrary amount, just like that much. That's maybe a little too much, but that's fine. We'll work with it. It'll be fine. We're going to take our Elmer's Glue All. We're going to put a whole bunch of glue in there. And I mean a whole bunch of it. A lot of glue. We're basically wanting to make a rock hard mixture in the end. So a whole bunch of PVA in there. We're going to take our shitty colors of paint and we're going to pop them in. This particular bottle of green paint is a giant acrylic booger. Let's deal with that first. Let's pull that thing out of there. I was just gonna say this paint is like 20 something years old now, and I keep it around for projects like this. All right, we'll do the same with the red. Same with the red. Come on now. The red and green together is going to make a nice, disgusting brown. Oh, this is like clogged with an acrylic booger. Yep, I can see it. Let's get in there and clean it. I do not have any fucking paper towels here. Oh well, that's what the apron's for, I guess. Paint is not coming out. There we go. All right, we got our red and our green mix. I'm gonna take our black, do a few drops of black. Here we go. Bing bonk, bing bonk. That's enough. We're gonna come in with some water. Let's get the clean water. We're gonna do 1 pipette full of water in there, pal. All right, get our stirring implement. Our little plastic palette knife, and we're just gonna start working this shit together. And I know we made a ton of this, but it is for like 20 bases, and basically we just want to get in there and start working it till it's a nice sludge instead of just paint floating on top of baking soda. And I use baking soda because the grit size is really immersive. It's it looks in scale, and it'll dry to a nice crust as well. All right, that's enough filming of that. Get in here and really stir it in. I really wish I had my damn my little basing grit. I may have to hop up and do like a spin around the room and see if I can find it. I don't know what I could have done with it. But anyhow, we end up with this paste, which I think I made a little too thin. Surprisingly enough. We'll add some more baking soda, and if I can find that grit, that would be really good. Yeah, let me go get some paper towels in the kitchen and try to find my basing grit. I had a little tub of it. Anyhow, I'm gonna hit this. I'll be back in like less than a minute. I'll be right back. I know it's around here. I was just using it the other day, which is what makes me think it's just not at a usual spot. Give me a second. Can't imagine what I did with it. Cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. Anyhow, I got my paper towels. Okay, so what I think we're gonna do here, what I think we're gonna do instead, since I can't find the grit that I usually use, it's like a kind of a medium ballast. I think what we'll do, for one, we're going to split this container into two so I can kind of make sure it's the right consistency on both ends. I made it a little too thin. I overestimated the ability of the what do you call it, of the baking soda to prevent the flowiness. I just can't imagine what the fuck happened to my grit. It normally would be right there, right up there. All right. So I think what we can do then instead is use our little bits of cork and distribute that through the mix. That might work. It just sucks. I usually toss in some of that like small scale ballast to fill it out. I just don't see where the fuck it is. I'll find it like a month from now. Just like that paint that disappeared on me. All right. Anyhow, let's just keep rolling in the face of adversity. I really don't know what to do here about it, honestly. It's going to be hella thick, or hella thin on the bases without the grit. Ah, found it. Found it. Oh, I fucking found it. Thank you. You bitch about it enough, the universe responds in kind. We're going to go back to our pro video. We're going to get out our basing grit, this stuff here. And we're going to start to add that in. Yeah, it's... So, this stuff alone would make for bad basing for this scale that we're in. We'll just mix
and
the one for now.
Helping of gravy.
And having the majority of your grit be like properly small scale with some added stones is a good way to do it. And then we're also going to throw in some little bits of cork. Throw in little bits of cork. Just like that much, I think. You know what? Screw it. We'll do the whole baggie. I'm going to do the whole baggie. We'll do that whole baggie. And I guess I could have just dumped it right in, but this way we can show to the camera what we're working with here. And it's just regular cork. If you ever have any leftover cork board, break it into little pieces. I know it gets overused in miniature basing, but I kind of love it as a staple in mini basing. It does a good job. Sure, if you overuse it, you can just immediately tell, oh, that's cork. But if you break it down and you take efforts to cover it with texture, it looks really good, and it's a great filler when applied well. See, we're just going to get in here and we're going to add more to the stuff. Yeah, that's already looking pretty good. It's still a little thin. So what we'll do, now that we have the thing separated out, is we can add some more baking soda. And we want this to turn into a nice thick paste. And if you can imagine, the baking soda's individual grain size is really, really tiny. And it makes for a nice, a really nice scale underfoot grit or gravel or terrain, whatever you're using it for, that looks more realistic than sand. Because if you think about it, sand looks like sand in 1-to-1 scale, right? So if you put it on a 1/285th scale base, all of a sudden that's like pebbles and large rocks. It's not sand anymore. It's pretty substantial size stuff. Chat has refreshed for me. Let me hit that button. Thick gravy. All the Roxes. Yes, Roxes. I read that in Gollum voice, of course. Hobbitses. Okay, so from here, I'm going to get our bases that we got printed out. I have these really nice, these are available on my Cults 3D page. These are solid print bases that have the bevel angle to match Catalyst bases. I also sell these on my eBay store if you need them. I think I'm charging $10 for 21 of them. If you need some, so head on over there and check it out. All right, so what we're gonna do here is put together some stanza infantry, and I think our jumpy boys will have maybe 2 jumpy guys in the back, and then like 3 walking dudes in the front. Maybe we'll do 3 in the back. I think we can get away with 3 in the back. Yeah, we'll get 3 in the back and then 3 in the front. Just want to make sure we have different poses on the bases. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Those boys ready to go. I think what we'll do is press the skip ad. I can't skip the ad. Oh, it's unskippable. Yummy. All messages. All messages. Catalyst bases don't match Catalyst bases though. They use anything between 65 and 7 degrees. Oh no, Mr. Another Nate, you can't disparage Catalyst. Gaspoo. They're perfect, right? They could never get anything wrong. That's insane to think that they would ever get anything wrong. No. Let's get a fucking guest palette going on for this project, y'all. All right, who's in chat? Whoever's in chat, we're gonna pick a few. All right, that one's a little bit inappropriate. All right, we'll do that one, or that one, or this one. Okay, I'm gonna give you a choice of three guest palettes for this project. Let's get this closed temporarily. Let's move this. Let's move these. I need a guest palette to hold on to some sticky fluids. So I got you 3 options. Hello, have a great paint job. Yes, welcome, Go For It Painting. Good to see you again. We are working on some basing tonight, and then I think tomorrow we're going to do the priming and initial base coats, and then Wednesday we'll be diving into the project prop. But first, we're going to have you guys carry pick our guest palette. So first we have what's going on here. Hostess lady sitting in a suggestive position. We have bunny lady with hands by the head. This is probably the most PG of them. And then we have well, that one's self-explanatory. Let me know. We got 1, 2, or 3. What you guys think? I'm gonna have a sip of coffee about it. wait on chat to catch up. Bikini. That's 2 for bikini? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. What if I actually, like, take a picture right now and use that as thumbnail for tomorrow's work? Yeah, I think that's perfect. Right? Am outnumbered but vote bunny. I'll tell you what, Zach, I can actually set this aside and put it in the in the shipment package. Or we can use it at another point during the video. I gotta get through these. You guys know the story about these. I'm not gonna rehash the story about how I ended up with all these lecherous titty girl stickers. But there's a fucking lot of them. There's a lot of them. And I'm gonna get through them eventually. This is all I use them for. I have them so that my sister's kids didn't end up with them. All right, so we need this in the shot. We do the guest palette thing. We slide it in. We get our super glue out. And we get some sticky. We get some sticky out. Oh, there we go. Yes. There's more than enough. Let's make sure our threads are not encrusted with glue, though. And I don't know if any of y'all do the apply your glue from a secondary surface, but it is unironically really good. Number 2, I just want to give fatherly advice and hugs. Spotted the dad in the room. Okay. So we need a toothpick now. Get our toothpick. We get our base that we sanded earlier. And we're going to take our minis and we're going to get them in position. Put together a little base of these boys, and then we can start spreading our basing material all around. And we have to do this twice. To do this twice for these guys in particular. So honestly, we might as well just start in on that. I hope we can fit 6 dudes on here. I'm gonna try. They might be a little crowded. Where's my tweezers? Get out our tweezers. See if we can't get this guy in a good position right in the middle. And the beauty here is, like, they should be fairly easy to spread our goop around, and it'll bury those little it'll bury the fuck words, please, brain. It'll bury their little bases, their little round bases underneath the goop. So these guys are going to look great once we get the stuff on them. We'll take our BSI Instaset, and we're just going to get a little bit out, and we're going to put it on that base. And our boys will be good to go. We can stop filming for now. So I think what we'll do is we'll prep 2 of these bases, and then I'll get the camera back out. Because we kind of want our baking soda to gas out a little bit here. And then we'll start spreading pace on the base. 6 dudes in AFI, right? No, this represents a platoon of 28 men. Represents a platoon of 28 men, so we're going to put 6 on theirs. The battle armor is actually only 4 because it's inner sphere, and we'll do those ones accurately. But generally, I like my own platoons to look pretty loaded down with models. So I do 6, sometimes more. Locust Labs basic infantry are really small. They're done in proper scale. They're not like heroic. So I fit like 8 or 9 on a base, actually, if you can imagine. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing here, but we're gonna put since these are the same sculpts, they're actually not the same sculpts, are they? They're a little different. We just don't want the same guys in the same positions, is what we're gonna do. There's that one. I got these all jumbled together. That was a mistake. Big jump pack. Okay, those guys are different. And then we want one more. I'm looking for that guy who's like fists down on the ground again. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Same deal. I think we'll try to get our jumpy boys a little bit further to the back this time. So all the way to the back, as far back as we can this time. Gives us a little more wiggle room. And then we'll do legs down to his right, I suppose. I love the whole approach of doing the jumpy guys in the back, because it creates this verticality to your platoon. They're a little hard to paint, yeah, they sure are, but I think they still work. Alright, so this time we want the guy standing and shooting kind of right in the middle, I think. Right there, that looks good. We want the guy who's landing to the other side of the other platoon. Oops, almost lost him. There we go. And then we'll put the guy who's kneeling, or he's kind of running and shooting. We'll put him to the front right chaw. Right chaw. There we go. That looks pretty good. Nice, like pretty packed base. Obviously you're not going to fit the entire amount, but it does a good job of selling that this is a platoon. It's not a squad. It is indeed a platoon. Now you can technically, in classic BattleTech rules, you could deploy them as squads, and then sometimes you have to, depending on your what transports you're running. Let's get lecherous sticky lady over to the side, and now we're going to come back in with our basing grit. And I think we'll probably have to apply this with toothpick as well. As you can see, we got a nice thick mixture here. And then if we need to thin it out some, we've got some more of this that we can use to drizzle kind of in between. All right. What time is it? 7:30? Holy shit. Time just flies when you're having fun, y'all. It really, really does. Okay. Pro video on. We're going to get a fresh toothpick. One that doesn't have a bunch of super glue. Right, y'all. We show our toothpick to the camera. We're going to get our grit. Try to get about a big chunk of it here. Maybe not actually a big chunk. We'll save the really big chunks for the mech bases. We're just going to come in here. Little bits of the gunk. It doesn't really want to stick because this damn accelerator on the base. It's alright, we can resist it. We do want to try to keep it off of the sides of the models, of course. I think we're actually going to come into our thinner mix here. And, ooh, that's a big acrylic booger. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. I think we need to thin out our mix a little bit here. So we're going to come in and just spread some in between them. This is finicky work, obviously. And we really don't want it all over the models. This is really fucking hard to film. I just want to point that out. It's exceptionally difficult to film. So I think we're going to try to just film this enough, and then I'm going to put this fucking camera away. We're just going to go back and forth with the thin and the thick until such time as we have the base nice and covered. Those are rookie numbers, got to go till 3 a.m.? No, I can't do that. No fucking way. You know I'm up till 3 a.m. anyway. We may end up doing that on Friday, actually. Like a super late, just marathon painting session. You know, don't be afraid to get in here and rub your finger across it every now and then. Basically, we want that whole, everywhere in between our boys covered. Everywhere between our boys nice and covered up. And we want to avoid having anything on the sides. And this stuff should adhere pretty well. Obviously, if you chip at it once it's applied, it's going to come off. But it works. And if you want to save time and effort, you can always buy like a Tamiya paste. Actually, the GW stuff is really good. It's just expensive because you don't get much. Let's get some thin right here. We'll have a nice uniform unified look on our minis in the end, because all the infantry and the mechs will have similar basing. All right, there we go. And now with the mixture of the thin and the thick, we're going to have a little bit of texture in there. We're also going to have some nice smooth ground as well. And that's 1 out of fucking 10 bases of these we got to do. Fresh stink weasel, you say? It is so funny to me that that skunks were removed from being weasels. Didn't we determine that was like a while ago too, Mr. Nate? That they like stopped being classified as mustelids? Was it the late 90s when that study happened? The genetic study? For those of you who need to be filled in, Another Nate and I were talking about mustelids and skunks, and we got on a a learning dive and learned that skunks are not weasels. They are not mustelids. They're actually their own thing, and they got reclassified at some point longer ago than either of us would have guessed. 93. Yep, that's... Yes, remember y'all, skunks are not weasels, despite the fact that they look like weasels and are basically just weasels. Alright, so I think the technique this time, after that first one, we're going to come in and we're going to try to lay down the chunks anywhere we can between our boys. That chunk's a little too big. We're going to try to avoid the biggest pieces of cork here. Just get that nice rocky grit. Anywhere we can pack it in, we're going to spin it to win it and just get some nice fat grit in there. And then we'll go back in with the thinner stuff in between our chunks. And yeah, this shit is a fucking nightmare to spread at the best of times, so you know, just dig in, enjoy the process. I actually recommend using like an old paintbrush, one of your like 3rd tier brushes that's about to go in the trash. It's perfect for this process. I'm having to use a toothpick here because of the tight fit in between our boys. Get these chunky bits. All right, now we're going to get our thin stuff. Shit is a nightmare. I think it might be time to get a paintbrush out that we can just throw in the trash. Do I have a last legs brush? I think this one might do. This ancient Citadel standard brush? No. How about this old 5.0? Yep. I think this is the one, and it will be ruined after this. But we're going to get in there, and we're going to smush the stuff around. We're going to try to not blob it up on the legs. But we are going to try to get it as close to their bases as possible, because we want to get rid of that, the little the round bit and disappear it into the texture. I often do this with hand sculpted green stuff, but this time we'll be okay with the more natural texture. All right. This guy's got a big old boulder next to him. Put some right there. And we're gonna rub the faces clean while this stuff is still kind of wet. Just get in there with your thumb and press it clean, rub it down. If it messes up the edge a little bit, just clean it up. Go back in, and we just want to make sure those hex faces are nice and clean so that they look nice and crisp in the final product. And there we go. We got our little boys on a base. We can set that off to the side. Pow! Where's our dirty water? Oh yes, ads. Thank you. Holy shit, YouTube has been aggressive with the ads tonight. I apologize for the amount of ads, y'all. I set them to medium. I'm trying to coax YouTube into spreading my content to more impressions while we work to bring the channel back to life. So I want to thank y'all for choosing to continue to hang out despite ads here on the channel. I despise them, but we have learned through experimentation that YouTube will suppress your content if you do not enable the ads. Okay, so we got 2 bases here, and I think our next little project is going to be to build our we're going to build up our half tracks, our machine gun half tracks, I think. So we'll do those, and we're going to select. We need our little boys here. I can maybe zoom the camera in a little bit too. How about right there? That should be enough to see a little more. All right, so we got these sitting fellers, so we'll get those off to the side first. You can actually get rid of the jumpy boys. I think it's probably a reasonable way to go about this. Thin the selection. Anybody with the jump pack gets shifted off to the side. Bam. And then we want, there should be 2 each of shooting men with machine guns. Yeah, 2 of the like walking kneeling, and then 2 of the walking, or walking aiming, and then 2 walking with just the gun. And then these should all be missile launcher boys. Okay, so I haven't painted infantry that small since Epic 40k days. I haven't had any ads on the stream yet, but earlier in the day it was ads like every 5 minutes. Yeah, it is interesting. The ads are kind of based on like what's available for you. I really like that position right there. So I think that's what we're actually going to do. Let's get this boy right here. All right, so we're going to go in, get our sticky lass here. Grab a few of her offerings. I'm going to put this boy kind of to the front of the tank here. I like that position a lot. Okay. We have a guy sitting with just his gun. And we're going to rub his butt with some nice sticky stuff. I'm going to set him right here. There we go. There's this guy with his arm kind of out. And I think we want him towards the back. That looks best to me. So we're going to put some on his butt, like under his pack, on his feet, and on the bottom of his hand. Just fucking globbing it on there. Because, I mean, the detail on these is already so small that, like, they're really not going to get blobbed up all that much by sitting in here. He's a little off the seat, but that's fine, because we're going to stick one more guy in there anyways. Get this guy with his rifle straight up. I guess I could have, like, filed down their backpacks a little bit, maybe, to make them fit a little better. But that's fine. Get this guy in there. The backpack is proving to be a fucking huge problem here. Oh, come on, please stick. There we go. Alright, we got a fucking packed ass half track here with men in the back. Quite loaded down. I know we were talking about food earlier, but now I'm stuck. Do I want sprouts or okra? Fuck. Sprouts, man. Are you frying them? If you're frying them, okra may be the better choice, but I'd go sprouts. I love a good brassica. Nice sticker choice, lots of personality. Ah, yes. Yes, she has such large personality, you're right. I think she had the least personality of the three, but not the most cringe of the three options tonight. Alright, so we're gonna press down our tank here. Try to get it nice and vaguely centered. It is not centered at all, but that's fine. We'll compensate with the other base. And we'll take our kneeling boy. Get a little sticky on the bottom here. A little sticky on the bottom. And then this guy's going to be on this side here. I think about right there. I think we're actually going to put the two Marines on the same side on this base. The trick here is we want these bases to be unique. Like they're going to be the exact same models on the bases, but we want them. We want the two ones that we do to be distinct. And actually, I think, can I get this free? No. I think we're gonna pop our half track off here. Ooh, don't cut yourself. I kind of wish I had some debonder. Ah, fuck. That was really close, y'all. That was really fucking close. That was really fucking close. That is just a surface cut. Holy shit. Here, let's deal with that real quick. There we go. Woo! Okay. So I knew it was coming too. We're gonna attempt that again. I'm gonna attempt that again, and we're gonna shift this half track a little bit over. I think the other one will get it nice and perfectly centered. This one we're gonna have a little bit off to one side. So about like yay. Yeah, perfect. So now this represents a mechanized, I guess, tracked or wheeled. It could be either. Mechanized infantry. I usually go with the tracked anyways because it can go into forest tiles. Let's get that other one together. Goddamn, man. Need some cutting gloves? Yeah. I just maybe need to not cut towards my finger. That one was close, but it did not destroy me. I'm actually gonna, speaking of cutting, we're gonna shave down these backpacks just a little bit. Ooh boy. Can I do this without injuring myself? I did break the gun off this guy though, trying to cut that. That hella sucks. This may not be doable. Can we stick his gun back on? Here's the challenge. Bow, bow, bow. Can we stick the gun back on our 6mm boy? Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. Do, do, do. The answer, by the way, is hell yes, I can stick that gun back on. Fuck yeah. Alright. Let's try again here. Let's try to shave these. These backpacks need to come down just a bit. That one went smoothly. Let's get this guy's backpack cut down a little bit. I think this is indicative of my X-Acto blade actually starting to dull out. And like, what's the deal? Like a really sharp knife. A really sharp knife is going to cause like a worse injury, but it is far less likely to injure you. Because you're pressing extra hard or whatever. I know there's a saying about it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. Alright, so the guy with his hand out, we're going to put on kind of the front this time, I believe. Get his butt nice and soaked. And then drop it. We're going to put him over by the gun this time. Yep. Perfect. He's up by the gun this time. Who's in the back here? So the guy with the gun across his lap needs to not be there this time. We want the guy with his gun up in the back corner. So we're going to grab him with our tweezers and rub that ass down with our nice sticky fluids. God fucking damn it. God damn it, dude. That was critically bad. I just broke the machine gun off this fucking thing. I'll tell you why. Because the tiny little speck of glue from where I dropped the guy stuck to the tank. Can I glue this fucking thing back on? Probably not. It looks like it snapped in multiple pieces. I'm gonna just put a big glob of super glue on it. We're gonna hope for the best here. These things are just like too small to even work with. There we go. And we're gonna quickly hit that with a little bit of accelerator and just cure it immediately. That's gonna have to do. I think this bit is small enough that once it's wrapped up, it's not gonna like rub on anything and break off. If anything, I think the connection is probably more secure with the super glue than it was with just the peg. Okay, so last two boys. We'll make sure to drop this guy. Can we get him up here? I think that's kind of what we're going to go for here. Make sure to drop it another 4 times. He's too small. This thing is so small, I can't even pick it up with my fingers. Also, that's what she said. Just so you're aware. Let's see. Can we get... Has our stickiness subsided? Nope. We got just enough. We're going to stick him in the corner right there. Good enough. He's kind of floating above the ground, but you won't notice that in the end. It'll be our little secret, y'all. Get the magnifier out. Yeah, exactly. I do have the magnifier, but it's... I think it's over at the computer desk. We do need a little extra super glue out. And I'm just about out of the extra thick. Let's just make sure our threads don't get locked up. There we go. Some fresh sticky for our booba lady. Get our boy in position with the tweezers first. You know, I think this blob of super glue on the tip of my finger may also be influencing my ability to hold on to things. Oh, come on, mister. Why are you fucking being uncooperative? Absolute dickhead. Go where I'm putting you, please. There we go. Alright, so these boys are in position. This time around, I think we want our tank nice and even right in the middle. So we'll do the same deal. A little bit of super glue. We're going to dab each track, each wheel. That's it. That's all we need. And we're going to try to get it really, really nice and centered this time. I think that's pretty good. Then we got our two boys here. Now, the shooty guy is on the front left corner. So on this next one, we want him on this side. So that's what we'll do. We're going to grab this feller. Holy moly, putting these together takes so much work. I can't believe it. Put that guy there.
T is for terrible, H is for hell,
U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a bug can't spell. Alright. There's our two bases. These are pretty fabulous little mechanized infantry. You got it, Mr. Calmstar, coming right up. I think this will be
Goodbye, everyone.
40?
She can go on forever.
tonight. Not too many push-ups this evening. Please write, pen. There we go. I'll give you those and I'll be right back. Back. Here we go once more. All right. Same deal. We're coming in with our toothpick. You know what? Maybe we could just use the... We probably use the toothpick to get the bigger chunks out. So let's put... You know, it sucks that these bases are so packed. I'm afraid this stuff is going to kind of dry out before we get a good opportunity to use the chunky stuff. The bases are just a little too packed to get those nice chunks of cork in there. Yeah, we're just gonna have to use the thin stuff on these. Shame. I guess I should probably think about doing some mech basing then before we get too far in the evening. That way we don't waste those bits of cork. Like, I have plenty more, but I'll have to break it up. Get some of this chunky. There we go. We'll use the chunky stuff to kind of break up the silhouette of the round tabs. Funny, this stuff will like take days to cure when it's really thick in the cup here, but it will quickly get like past the spreadability point. That looks pretty good. There we go. I rubbed too much off that edge. Let's put a little more there. There's another one. That was 50. You didn't record the coffee break push-ups? No, I think that was 40 with those, Mr. Nate. I included those. It could be kind of cool and maybe time saving to have some dudes standing in the half track and shooting poses like some sort of intersphere tactical drive-by. They're not sure if that would work. It's funny you mentioned that, Mr. Sack, because our rocket infantry is going to have men standing in it. So you're right on the money with that one. And then we'll base up the maybe the Black Knight or the Bull Shark. We'll get at least one of the mechs based up tonight. We still got an hour. Like, I'm gonna keep working on these obviously, but the stream, I try to do the 3-hour window. Yeah, it's the missile launcher boys didn't have any seated options, so they're going to be more focused on standing up and shooting out of the half tracks. I'm trying to do like a good amount of believability on these guys, and have them all look nice and different. Let's move that chunk back here. Let's get these fellers' little round stands covered up. Clean those edges. All right, we're gonna drive some of this mud up underneath. And we'll cover over this stuff with more paint later, obviously, but the dark color is going to help to obscure any like light coverage areas when we're painting later. All right, so we're almost done with our infantry. We got 2 more bases to do, and you know what? I think we'll just fucking do them. Got some nice terrain on this one. Some chunks here and there. Got a chunk in the back. Missing a little bit here. And the beauty of this baking soda mixture is like it's not gonna really self-level all that much as it cures. It's gonna kind of puff up as the baking soda releases carbon dioxide, so it's still gonna be kind of puffy when it cures, and you're gonna get this this nice like undulation to your terrain. Okay, that's 4 bases done. Oh, you were right earlier when you saying can both be wheeled or tracked in the game. Pick the half track so I can run them as either. Hell yeah. Yeah, because what is it? The wheeled infantry, they're either cheaper or they move faster, but they can't go into heavy woods. So, speaking of our other guys here, so we chose the half track with the tow missile for the infantry, for the missile guys. And then let's get out our boys here. We have a good selection of poses this time. There's our kneeling lad. We got one who's kneeling and shooting. You guys probably can't see that at all. We got a guy who's standing and shooting. We've got a guy with binoculars, and then we've got a guy walking with rockets. We're gonna do less on these bases this time. I guess I should have gone with only 4 on the bases. Now this one's gonna be tough because we need to cut these boys clean from their bases, unfortunately, and I need to manage to do this without cutting myself. So I think the way to do it is going to just be to cut straight down next to their feet. Yep, that is the way, and then it's going to cause the little circle to kind of shatter. And now we can come in here. You know what? Maybe it's a clipper's job. Wheeled are faster and squishier and carry less dudes. Tracked are slower, carry more and tougher, at least in Alpha Strike. Oh yeah, Alpha Strike. I see it. I think it's similar. I think wheeled moves 3 instead of 2. And I think in Classic they hold the same number, but wheeled cannot move into heavy forest. And then hover infantry are the fastest and can They can fly over water. They can fly over water, but they can't go into either tree terrain type. All right, so we're going to have a dude shooting at the back there. I'm thinking we might ought to do these with just the one dude in the back. I think it'll be a little tough to fit all the models we want to in it, so we're just going to do the one in the back. Let's get another base. We're going to sand it smooth. In hindsight, I wish I would have printed out more sitting guys. I would have put a guy sitting in the truck. Maybe the binocular man. Can we fit the binocular man? I think we could actually fit the binocular man in the truck. Let's try that. Let's cut him free. Hit those little toesies. Let's dip him in the titty model goop. And then we're gonna try to stick him in with his binoculars going the other way. Yeah, that worked really well actually. We did manage to get two dudes in there, so now we don't have to crowd the base as much. All right. So dab on either track, dab on either wheel. And then this one is going to be... This time we're going to put it off to the other side from before. And then we'll take our kneeled and shooting man. And we'll have him towards the front. And we'll have man walking with double rockets towards the back. Little tappy dippy. Set him right there. There we go. We got our next base. Set that aside to cure. Now we want different guys in the Jeep this time. Does this guy actually like see over the... Yeah. We're going to get our kneeled shooting guy in the truck this time. I guess I should just be using the snips for this. Snip him clean. Move as much of that extra material as we can. And get this boy... I don't know where he's going to go. Can we fit him towards the front, maybe? I don't really think so. I think this guy's got to go towards the back. And that's what we'll do. Get his feet sticky. There we go. Sticky feet man. We're going to stick him right here towards the very back. And he's shooting out the side here. I'm going to tilt him a bit so he's not looking like he's going to blow up the thing. And then we're going to do the standy shooty man in the other one. Just hitting it with our Bead Buddy snippers. I bought these snippers in, I think, in 2020. maybe late 2019 at a Joann Fabric while I was visiting my folks back in southern Middle Tennessee. And they have served me quite well ever since. And now we've got rockets covering both directions. These guys are going to mutually blind each other with backblast. Now you are the peener snipper guy. Peeners is feet. Yes. Yes, peeners are feet. Wait. Now I'm picturing a Mutant Crawl Classics model with wieners for feet. And I hate it. This is awful. What have you done, Nate? Why have you done this? Alright, sticky lady. Give me your sticky goods. I think we're gonna do the nice, like, right in the center approach for this again. Let's get our boys nice and sticky here. Our stickiness is kind of drying up a little bit. I'm gonna put our binocs right here on the very edge, and we're gonna get our Walking with Rockets man on the other side. There we go. All right, so let's give this a stir so it doesn't dry out. Let's try to put some more texture down. Like, that big chunk of cork is gonna be great on a mech base, not great on this base. All right. So we're gonna get some thick pasty shit here on the front, I think. And in between these boys, I think. And a little bit right here. Okay. Now we want that brush where we're going to start spreading it about. And we have another brush right here to clean off any mud blowouts. Let's remove that. Same here. Remove that. Footwang. Dr. Footwang. Yes. See if we can't get these fellers looking okay without plotting them up too much with the texture. It's honestly, this is really pushing my bounds here of skill to be able to spread this goop around satisfactorily without clotting things up too bad. Rough, quite rough. But we're almost done with the infantry bases. Actually, I think, is that done over there? I can't tell. The battle armor is almost done, if it's not done already. But this project is going to continue this week. We're going to be painting every day until they're done, with a assigned deadline of the 30th for these boyos. We're going to be diving in every day right here. I start to say the same time, but I don't know. It'll either be noon 6 or noon 3 or 6. in one of those 3-hour windows. I like the 6 o'clock time, but that does get a little late for some of y'all in the Discord for hanging out afterwards. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. On to the next one. Let's get a little more chunk down this time, maybe. That is a big piece of cork. We don't want that. We just want the chunky earth with the extra bits of grit. There we go. All right, and now we can start in with the thinner shit. Goopy, globby mess. Spread it on there nice and heavy. We'll come in a bit and clean it up with the other brush. I just want to get it on there. This is another one of those steps that I think really demonstrates like tedium. And like how something like this can get a little out of hand when it's a whole bunch of bases, a whole bunch of minis. It's just a reminder to keep yourself nice and calm. Good zen-like state while you're painting. Be happy. Choose to be happy. It's a choice. Remember, happiness is a decision. It is not always an automatic state. And as an individual who has been going through some really, really shitty, bad mental health as of late, I want to remind all of y'all out there that sometimes, if you can bear it, if you're having the worst time, if you're having a bad time, sometimes it is worth it to force a smile. If you can remember that quite often, on the other side of a forced smile is a genuine one. So, as always, if you're having a bad time out there, remember you ain't alone. And you should totally take some time and force a smile and paint some shit and post it to the Country Fried Minis Discord and share it so we can heap on you with praise and criticism alike. We want to see what you got going on. All right, so that's 6 bases of infantry that are done. Well, based and done. What can we do in the next half hour to really illustrate what we're doing and continue with the work? Let's get our war dog put together and based. Let's do that. How's that sound, y'all? I think he's about like that. He doesn't key exactly perfect. So I think what we're gonna do is, you want to do up some mechs so as to not waste scoop. You want to do push-ups. Do I want to do push-ups? I don't want to, but I'm gonna.
Yeah. Would you do a workout?
I do.
Give me 10.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. She can go on forever.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And indeed, the battle armor are done printing. Where's my push-up tally? There it is. Bam. That's 50 tonight. I'm okay with that. That feels pretty decent. I think we're going to do a pen in this boy. So we'll show these to the camera real quick. I like how dirty my fingies are for these shots. So we want to get this boy glued together. So we're going to start a little pilot hole here. And we're going to get out our pin vise. And we're going to drill into it. Also, you wanted popcats. Yes, I always want popcats. Many poppings. The poppingest of the popcats. Yes, indeed. Alright, how deep is that? I think that's probably deep enough. And we'll take this pin here. We got a pin. I want to cut the curved bit off of it. So we're going to stick it in our wire snipper and get rid of that tip. Then we're going to jam it home. I think it's a little off center. It's about right there. So we're going to come in and we're going to spin a little spin it to win it spot. And we're going to fucking get in there and spin it. I'm spinning. I didn't see how far that pin was sticking out, so we need about, I don't know, like 35 turns of this. Something like that. I think it's enough. So we're going to take our pin and we're going to drive it home right there. It's off center. And we're going to stick it in that right there. Ooh, so close. So close. We need a few turns in either of the holes. We'll go for this one since it's a little safer. That's probably enough. And I'm going to do a redeem popcat too. And I'm going to skip this ad. Honestly, these ads have been aggressive, but they're probably pretty decent for what little ad revenue CF gets. We're going to take our super thin super glue and we're going to come in here
It's that woo woo.
and we're going to
You know what I'm saying?
see that this thing is not open.
That's only in the morning. You supposed to be up cooking breakfast or somebody.
And try to clear
like
it
alarm clock.
with something like a paper clip or something. Probably make a huge fucking mess. Oh my god, immediately it just exploded super glue at the tip. You motherfucker. Who's responsible for for my getting of the super thin? I mean, I guess technically it's me, right? Because I pulled the trigger on the purchase. Ooh, this shit is dangerous. Just so you know, super thin, super glue, kinda really dangerous. We got our boy. Him's already cured. Night shift. Get a whistle tip for your paper tubes. Actually, you know what? I know whose fault it is. I know exactly whose fault it is, and he's right here. I remember I burned my fingers. I could see how that would happen. It went everywhere. Oh my god, it's everywhere. All right. What are we sitting at? 8:32. We got like 25 minutes. I want to at least get one of these mechs based. So we're going to come in. We're going to file the bottom. Get rid of all those scars. Make it nice and smooth. Holy moly. And we're going to take a peek at our boy here and see where he sits on the base. Man, that edge is a little scarred. I'm gonna rub it smooth really quick. All right, we're gonna pick a good facing for the front. And I think what we want is 2 points of contact, really. So I think we're gonna put another pin in it right here. And to do so, we're gonna pilot hole again with our sharp hobby knife. Yes. And we're gonna drill into it. Drill into our model's foot. And actually, I thought we had a little piece of pin sticking around here somewhere. There it is. We get the pin really like as far in there as we can without it destroying the structural integrity. Oh, come on, pin. Come on. The pin is arguing with me. There we go. We're gonna do the same treatment here. We want to cut that curvy tip off. We're gonna stick this, ram that on in there. I could have stayed. All right, there we go. And we're gonna look again where our posy sits. So foot is there. And we're gonna press that, hopefully enough to make a mark. Yeah, I can see the mark now. So we can come in with our X-Acto right in the mark. Give it a few spins. And that'll create a pilot point where we can take our pin vise and start spinning it to win in it. And that ain't even in the frame. You know, it's funny. I adjusted the camera before the stream started to be aiming a little further up on the mat because I usually work higher up. But I'm working kind of low. I think that's enough. Yeah, that's sitting nice and flush. Let's do this. Just bring y'all down a little bit like that. Alright, so now we're going to do our super thin trick again. Doctors hate this one trick. Oh my god, the tip's already clogged again. And we want some back there too. Now I think the super thin is actually the right choice here because it's like gonna flow up into those into the holes where we have stuff. Our stuff holes. We stuff our holes with super thin, super like it's all the way up on that leg with capillary action. Let's get out the excess. There we go, looking good. Excelente. And now we can actually use our nice and thick, cruddy, goopy, cork embedded paste. Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh shit, I think I may have filled this camera up. I need to offload some videos. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. So I'll focus on doing this for y'all then. And this texture paste is really nice for mechs because it's like it can really be suggestive that that these giant war machines are like sinking down into the substrate. All right. I think he's nice and textured up now. There we go. Let's clean all the faces. Rub it with our fingies. Get them nice and dirty fingies. And I think him's nice and textured up. 839. We could maybe do another mech, I think. Let's maybe kind of talk about rebasing a Catalyst Mini, I guess. Who's next? Or maybe we could mount our Bull Shark. This one's wild. Like, holy shit, it barely fits on a base. I actually don't think we can get a pin in. I don't even really know where to pin. He does not fit on a base. So I think I think we're going to have to put one small pin. Ross! Out my window. For those who know, you know. Yeah, let's get into our Bull Shark here. I think it needs to go a little further. We're gonna do 3 more turns. Yeah, I think that's about all we can get inside that. And then, do I have the other end of that pin we just used? I don't see it. Let's clip off just a bit of this. Maybe like that much. We can run our pin deep. We can run our pin pretty deep into the base. Alright, so the whole deal is it's like all the way on the edge there to make it fit. I think that's about as much as we're gonna get. Yeah, it's like right on the tippy tip. So we're gonna take our pilot hole, we're gonna put it right there. This is crazy. Like, honestly, I think these mech sculptors should maybe get a nice asset like this base here that I've put up on Cults 3D for free. And just, you know, to illustrate, it is the same as a Catalyst base. It's the same as a Catalyst base. And maybe size your fucking mechs. Alright, here we go. Also, let's take a second to peek. Who's on the charts tonight? We got another Nate sitting at 225 XP. We got Comstar Knight with 150 XP. We got Zachary 5 Full, 150 XP. We got Mako Helios also with 150 XP. Frankie the Fish at 100. Mr. Squarepeg with 100. Saren Kildo with 75. And Nathan with 75. Cool. I wonder if YouTube's going to do anything like with this feature to make it like mean something, or like some kind of deeper chat interaction would be kind of cool. All right, so our pin. Let's get a little super glue on this hole real quick. Let's get a little on that hole and push this pin. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Thank you, pin. Holy shit. Absolute dickhead. It's gone. It vanished off the face of the earth. You motherfucker. Is this it right here? I don't think I can even get it in that hole. There we go. All right. Let's put a little bit of our extra thin on the spots that will be touching the base. It is such small contact points. I'm hoping this pin does the job. There we go. And I'm glad we did this because I just saw some supports that need to be removed right there. All right, we got our bull shark on a base-ish. That's crazy how little of it actually sits on a base. But I think we got the weight of the model mostly over the top. I think it'll be nice and stable either way. All right. Let me give this guy a little love. I think we need less of that. Quit fighting me, you fucking bastard. Alright, let's get our thin stuff. I want to start spreading this stuff out. All right, y'all. I am getting antsy, and I think that's really about all I can illustrate without just rinsing and repeating. So, plan as it stands now is I will continue doing basically exactly this for a few hours tomorrow before stream. And I want to have these guys in a position to hit them with a primer. We'll prime the models. We'll talk about, we'll maybe talk about batch priming and techniques you can do while applying your primer to ensure that your models like don't glob up, so that you're spending less time waiting on primer to dry while working on a project. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll lay down some initial base coats. It may just be a airbrush stream. I'm thinking in 3 hours we can probably achieve base coats. And we're going to keep grinding away. That way Wednesday will be actually set up at the regular paint stream time, 12 noon, to actually get into the painting portion of this. So if you have any ideas, or you're bored, or want to stop through or talk whatever you got going on, you want to let us know what's going on in your life. If you just want some chat interaction, if you want to talk about !B, if you want to talk about Hey Ross, if you want to look at lecherous titty lady stickers, we got a little bit of all of it here. So come on through if you're feeling it. If not, we'll see you on the other side. But I think that's all I got for tonight. My mind is wandering. I want to eat some chips and drink some cold beverage. So I think I'm going to go do that. In any case, I've been Cameron on behalf of Country Fried Minis. This is another project brought to you by a kind contributor from fiverr.com/Thurston Studios. Link in the description below if you want to get your own commission from me. Check it out. Inquiries are always free. There's a non-zero chance that any commission will get turned into content as well. So, yeah, that's all I got tonight. And lots of love, y'all. And I'll catch you tomorrow, probably the same time. I'm thinking 6 p.m. again. So, anyhow, that's all I got. See ya for the next one. Goodbye. Yeah. Thank y'all.